Friendly reminder, it is hot and it's going to be humid out there today. We're actually monitoring a heat advisory in effect once again for the entire viewing area. So folks are going to need to stay cool. Again, you're in cleanup mode, but the thing is with that heat and humidity, that's where folks, it's going to be dangerous for them to be out and about. So we want to let you know that there are a ton of cooling centers across the area, but one that is centrally located, and that's where we find our very own Chelsea Edwards, who is live from Lakewood Church this morning. Chelsea, how's it going out there? There's still water, which is good news.
Yeah, that is definitely some good news for people who need to stay hydrated and maybe don't have the supplies that they need. I know the stores were running out of large packs of water like these. So Lakewood is actually giving away a full pack per vehicle. All you need to do is come pull up through their drive-through. They'll load you up with a 40 pack of water. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to sign or give any information. They'll just load you up and send you on your way. It actually opened around 8 a.m. this morning, starting this drive-through line, and also opened the church as a cooling center. And I will tell you, based on my personal experience, it feels fantastic inside. It's a great place for people to come, cool off, also charge their phones if they need to, just take a break, because we are under a heat advisory, as we've been talking about all morning, until 7 a.m. tomorrow at the earliest. So we definitely want people to avoid any heat-related emergencies. That's the thing, right? Because so many people are still without power, and we don't want them to, start getting those symptoms of heat exhaustion, nausea, headache, dizziness, clammy skin, things like that you need to look out for in yourself and also your loved ones. We've also been reminding people to check up on their elderly friends and neighbors and loved ones, their disabled loved ones as well, neighbors as well. We just don't want anyone to fall through the cracks during this heat, especially when we're dealing with so many people still without power, so not being able to stay cool. And I know it's been rough. It was rough at my house last night, pretty hot. So whatever you can do to help spread the word, or if you need help yourself, you can come here to Lakewood. We also have a full list of cooling centers that we've been updating online. I've added it to my Instagram. I'll just run through them really quickly because they're fairly spread out. You have Balin Community Center on Bissonnette, Raddick Community Center on Clay Road, Weekly Community Center, that is in Cypress on Greenhouse Road. You also have the Southwest Multi-Service Center on High Star Drive, Big Stone Lodge on Riley Fuzzle Road, that's in Spring. In Crosby, you have the Crosby Community Center on Hare Road, Juergens Hall Community Center on Hempstead Road in Cypress, and then Trinity Mendenhall Community Center on Wirt Road. So we are pushing out the information as we get it of places that are opening as cooling centers, also any places that are giving away resources like this. We just want to make sure everyone is taking care of themselves and taking care of those around them. Just, we are Houston strong, so we don't just look out for ourselves, but once we know that we're okay, we got to check on our neighbors, right, Allison?
Oh, right, Chelsea. And I love that you said Houston strong. That almost gave me the chills. And you can just see the folks behind you are excited to be passing out this water to make sure that they are going to be keeping themselves and their families safe. So thank you, Chelsea. Please get inside and stay cool today. We appreciate your hard work.
We'll do that. Thank you.
And just like Chelsea mentioned, that there are several other cooling centers that are open today in addition to Lakewood Church. You can see that they still had some water available, but even if they do run out of water later today, get inside. There's 17,000 seats that are open, so that's good news. So some of the others do include the Southwest Multi-Service Center, Crosby Community Center, Trinity Mendenhall Community Center, which will be open till 8 p.m. And then, like Chelsea was talking about, Raddick, Bayland, and Weekly Community Centers will be open until 6 o'clock. So head over to our Facebook page or our website, fox26houston.com, for that full list. Now, that's just for Harris County, but let's take you out to Montgomery County. Shelters are open at Lone Star Community Center on Lone Star Parkway in Montgomery. Also, the West County Community Development Development Center. That's on Friendship Drive in Magnolia. Taking you out to Fort Bend County now. The fairgrounds have shelters with AC, but also showers. That's going to come in handy. Buildings C and D. Again, that's at the Fort Bend County Fairgrounds on Highway 36 in Rosenberg. And the city of Galveston also has opened a cooling center at McGuire Dent Recreation Center. It's going to be open today until 6 p.m. and that is located at 28th and Seawall. So again, 2222 28th Street. Now, I want to talk about some boil notices that we have been monitoring because that's going to be important. You know, your AC isn't out, but you want to stay hydrated. So Houston drinking water is safe to drink, and that's in the city. But we are monitoring multiple boil water notices for other areas that are in effect right now. They include the Crystal Springs water system in Montgomery County, specifically the Iverness Crossing and Decker Hill subdivisions. Now in Harris County, the Western Trail subdivision water system and the Spring Cypress water system. Up in Polk County, the Country Wood water system and the Pinois Pines Estates water system. So, you know, that's a big list, but you always remember that if you're just washing your hands or showering, so you're not actually intaking the water, that's going to be okay to use. But, you know, you need to make your coffee, your tea. For drinking water, it needs to boil for at least a minute. I'd say do a little bit longer, you know, want to make sure everybody is staying safe. Now, emergency officials are also reminding folks to stay safe while using portable generators. Generators need to be kept outside and at least 15 to 20 feet away from your home.
Do not put it under the eaves. Please do not bring it inside of your apartment or your garage or your home. That carbon monoxide that comes off of there is very significant when it develops, and it puts you to sleep, and unfortunately things happen, and we can't even get there to save you because you can't wake up to tell us you need us.
It's also a good idea to have those carbon monoxide alarms in your home. You know, just head out to the store quickly. That is going to come in handy, especially because folks have been needing to use these generators now the second time just within the past few weeks. We do want to update you that a number of businesses and school districts remain closed today. That does include Houston ISD and the Houston Zoo. We do have a full list over on our website, fox26houston.com. If you do rely on the Metro to get you from place to place, there are some changes that you need to keep in mind. Park and Ride, Metro Rail, and all Metro-operated express lanes will remain closed today. Partial service will resume for certain bus routes. It did at 8 o'clock this morning. Metro Lift and Curb to Curb will also resume. It did at 8. For the latest alerts, make sure to visit ridemetro.org or download the One to Ride app. So we know that this is a lot of information. You know, it's coming in. You got to stay updated. You know, when is the power going to come back on? When is my water safe to drink? Just know that we always have you covered. On your phone, if you can, download the Fox 26 News app. You're going to get alerted the second we get any information. But make sure you stick with us. We're going to have more coming up after the break, and we'll actually hear from one of our reporters.
Fox 26 is your Gulf Coast Weather Authority. And while our area is vast,
this storm could bring widespread flooding and dangerous winds to our entire
our forecasting zeroes in.
These storm cells over the ship channel are particularly dangerous.
From your community.
Memorial Park is getting hammered right now with heavy downpours.
Right down to your neighborhood streets.
We're starting to see the water rise along Buffalo Bayou.
It's hyper-local coverage from your Gulf Coast Weather Authority. Only on Fox 26. Fox 26 News at 9. Our breaking bond reports hold judges accountable.
A 20-year-old charged with manslaughter.
The News Edge at 10. Your clues help find the missing.
Her son never made it to his
investigations that get results. Weeknights on Fox 26. Engaging and shareable. Visit the Fox 26 Houston Facebook page. Need a legal question answered? Fox 26 legal expert Chris Tritico can help.
But this may be a pretty sizable claim that your sister has.
Just send your legal questions to Fox 26 Law at Fox.com. Then tune into Houston's Morning Show every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 a.m. to hear your questions answered. The news doesn't stop on weekends.
We're learning more details about a story we first brought you yesterday morning.
And neither do we.
As we head throughout the afternoon, that's when the rain starts moving in from the southwest.
Fox 26 Morning News Weekends with Denise Middleton.
Well, now to a story you'll see only on Fox. The family of a beloved bartender in North.
And meteorologist Allison Gargaro.
Right now, we are seeing some of the heaviest rain start to push off to our
Fox 26 Morning News Weekends, Saturdays and Sundays beginning at 5 a.m.
The Fox 26 weather app with more features in one easy-to-use screen. Current weather at a glance, high-resolution interactive radar, severe weather alerts, video forecasts, and much more. It's the power of your Gulf Coast Weather Authority in the palm of your hand. The Fox 26 weather app. Download it today.
The Fox 26 YouTube page, your home for the best Fox 26 has to offer. The latest news.
Good evening, I'm Caroline Collins. Topping the rundown.
Our most popular local programs like the Isaiah Factor Uncensored.
Why the hell are so many people burned out?
And stories you may have missed from series like Breaking Bond.
The quicker we get a grasp on what's happening.
Sullivan Smart Sense and The Missing.
Please pick up the phone and call the police. Remember, you can remain anonymous.
The Fox 26 YouTube page. Like and subscribe today.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, needless to say that there is widespread damage across all of Houston and honestly our entire viewing area from where Hurricane Beryl made landfall down in Matagorda and made its way, all the way up. Now, I just had a friend text me who lives in St. Louis, and they are even getting the effects from what is now post-tropical Beryl. But we do want to let you know that new construction in East Downtown came crashing down during yesterday's storm. Fox 26's Coco Dominguez found a gas station with power and talked to a lot of people in line.
We're waiting for some gas, yes.
Okay, how long have you been waiting?
About 8 minutes. Yeah, we're pretty innovative, so we made our way around the traffic. We live across the street, so it's more so convenience. We haven't traveled 20 to 40 miles. This is our neighborhood gas station.
What's your biggest concern right now for the aftermath? Is there anything that's concerning you? Power, gas?
Nothing at all, to be frank. We're people of faith. God is good. We're alive, so that's what really matters. In the meantime, we are waiting for power to be restored.
Okay, will you be using your car as like somewhere to get in and stay cool? Is that kind of the plan until you get back?
Using the car to charge, to stay cool, and that's about it because we're prepared. We have endless water, countless candles, plenty of food, grill going. So we're good.
You're making the best of the situation.
We have to.
A little gas goes a long way.
Straight away, straight away.
How long have you been waiting on gas?
Probably like 30 minutes now.
In this line?
Yeah, in the line.
So what's your biggest concern right now after the storm?
Getting some food. Yeah, because my refrigerator, it's not refrigerating all my food. And there aren't a lot of shops open right now.
Okay, so you have no power at home?
Yeah, I have no power right now.
Okay, are you using the vehicle, the gas, to stay cool and charge?
I'm just coming back from work right now, but yeah, I was charging my phone here as well.
There's no power, and I think water also has gone, but hopefully we'll get the power back by the evening.
Okay, and they're saying it may be a couple of days. How would you handle something like that?
So last time it happens as well, and it took around like a week, and hopefully this will not happen this time as well, but yes, we are more prepared this time.
All right, you be careful if you're going to cool off in this car. Don't stay in your garage or anything crazy like that.
Yeah, thank you.
We were just home. It wasn't that hot when the winds went down pretty much. So we came to get gas because we cooked outside on the grill. So we did what we had to do.
And I feel like that's so many people. They're outside grilling. They had their hurricane kit and, they're ready to hunker down and stay as long as they need to, as that power, we're just waiting for it to get restored. But just like Coco said, if you are going to sit in your car and sit in the AC, please do not be in your garage. Make sure that you're, a bit away from the house. And if you can, try to be under a tree to at least stay in the shade. And, honestly, this morning, it wasn't all too bad outside. but that was a few hours ago. It's 11:15 and temperatures are only going to continue to rise. So heat is going to be the top of everyone's minds today, especially folks that are cleaning up the neighborhood. And speaking of cleaning up, in Galveston, the National Weather Service is actually going to be surveying some damage from Jamaica Beach just yesterday. We're hearing reports that 2 homes and a business plaza had their roofs completely blown off. Now, Jamaica Beach has a population of about 1,100, and some residents evacuated voluntarily while others chose to ride out the storm.
It's more of a cleanup, making sure people know what's going on in the community. We have people calling in that actually listened to our voluntary evacuation that have left, that are wanting to know, hey, how's my house? You know, how's my business?
Galveston Judge Mark Henry does say that his next worry is the power outages, saying that 73% of the county is without power this morning. Now, many of us are at about 24 hours without power at this point, and it's important to make sure that your food that you're eating is safe. So here's a few tips to keep in mind. First, if anything perishable is still in your fridge, you're going to want to throw it away. Perishable foods in the fridge go bad after about 4 hours. Now, foods in your freezer will stay good to up about 24 hours. That's if your freezer is half full, or 48 hours if it's completely full, which I assume a lot of folks made sure to stock up if in case this did happen. Also, remember to never taste food to determine if it's safe to eat. So if it has an unusual odor, color, or texture, just throw it out. I promise you it's not going to be worth it. And you know, we're starting to see some stores beginning to open up. So if you can just run back to the grocery store and get whatever you need. Want to make sure that everybody is staying safe, and try not to open the freezer. You know, if you have to grab something quick and then put it back. But a lot of folks are likely grilling. That's going to be a good way that, you know, you don't have to heat up your kitchen, because even I was over at my in-laws last night and just turning the stove on, it was getting warm in there, so we needed to have the fans to cool everything down, you know, with a portable generator there. So we want to make sure everybody is staying safe and informed. And just know that I had a lot of people on my social media yesterday saying, hey, like, I'm only checking in periodically. How long are you going to be updating? That's why you can head over to our website, and we are updating articles on, you know, what stores are open, what's happening with the road closures, you know, even power in your neighborhood. So that's all going to be right at your fingertips, and just so important. And we truly appreciate you guys sticking with us. We know that this show, we just wanted to bring you as many updates as we could. And speaking of updates, I think a lot of folks are going to want to know what's happening with Beryl now. Where is it? And what can we expect in the days to come? We know it's going to be hot, but when will we be seeing some rain chances? Well, I'm going to have your entire forecast coming up just after the break, so make sure you stick with us.
Fox 26 is your Gulf Coast Weather Authority. And while our area is vast,
this storm could bring widespread flooding and dangerous winds to our entire...
Our forecasting zeroes in.
These storm cells over the Ship Channel are particularly dangerous.
From your community.
Memorial Park is getting hammered right now with heavy downpours.
Right down to your neighborhood streets.
We're starting to see the water rise along Buffalo Bayou.
It's hyper-local coverage from your Gulf Coast Weather Authority. Only on Fox 26. Fox 26 News at 9. Our breaking bond reports hold judges accountable.
A 20-year-old charged with manslaughter.
The News Edge at 10. Your clues help find the missing.
Her son never made it to his
Investigations that get results. Weeknights on Fox 26. Engaging and shareable. Visit the Fox 26 Houston Facebook page. Need a legal question answered? Fox 26 legal expert Chris Tritico can help.
But this may be a pretty sizable claim that your sister has.
Just send your legal questions to fox26law@fox.com. Then tune into Houston's morning show every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 a.m. to hear your questions answered. The news doesn't stop on weekends.
We're learning more details about a story we first brought you yesterday morning.
And neither do we.
But as we head throughout the afternoon, that's when the rain starts moving in from the southwest.
Fox 26 Morning News Weekends with Denise Middleton.
Well, now to a story you'll see only on Fox. The family of a beloved bartender in North.
And meteorologist Allison Gargaro.
Right now, we are seeing some of the heaviest rain start to push off to our
Fox 26 Morning News Weekends, Saturdays and Sundays beginning at 5 a.m.
The Fox 26 weather app with more features in one easy-to-use screen. Current weather at a glance, high-resolution interactive radar, severe weather alerts, video forecasts, and much more. It's the power of your Gulf Coast Weather Authority in the palm of your hand. The Fox 26 weather app. Download it today.
The Fox 26 YouTube page, your home for the best Fox 26 has to offer. The latest news.
Good evening, I'm Caroline Collins. Topping the rundown.
Our most popular local programs like the Isaiah Factor Uncensored.
Why the hell are so many people burned out?
And stories you may have missed from series like Breaking Bond.
The quicker we get a grasp on what's happening.
Sullivan Smart Sense and The Missing.
Please pick up the phone and call the police. Remember, you can remain anonymous.
The Fox 26 YouTube page. Like and subscribe today.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you are having a great day. And as always, thanks for joining us on Forecasting with Friends. But I want to take you out to Beryl, which is now post-tropical cyclone, meaning it has lost a lot of steam, but that doesn't mean that it's still not bringing a lot of rain to folks in its path. St. Louis being one of them, and then going to be heading up to upstate New York. So right now we're looking at 30-mile-per-hour maximum sustained winds. And, you know, this thing is going to be bringing not only a heavy rain threat, but also the potential for some severe weather. We had numerous tornado warnings yesterday, and you know, that's still going to be the potential, likely making its way through St. Louis, just to the east of Chicago, and a big chunk of the lower peninsula of Michigan before we'll be skirting just to the west of Buffalo and then heading up into Canada over the next few days. So not necessarily going to be our worry anymore. We are just picking up the pieces of what Beryl left behind, i.e., lots of damage down trees, down power lines, and there it was, zipping across the state and then off to our north and east. So honestly, it's taken a lot of the moisture in our air with it, which is good news. But, you know, it's left a lot of power outages. And our very own chief meteorologist made this graphic this morning. And take a look at once it made landfall as that Category 1 storm along our coast, take a look at all the power outages it created almost immediately. I mean, we were seeing those numbers rise starting from south to north, pretty much lit the entire eastern half of the state up like a Christmas tree, and some spots, you know, up toward Polk County, even near Livingston, looking at almost 100% power outages at this time. So with that being said, you're outside, you're cleaning up your neighborhood, you're checking on your loved ones. And the reason being is that feels like temperatures are going to be skyrocketing in Houston already. It's 11:23 on this Tuesday morning, and it's feeling like 100 degrees, feeling like 104 in Sugar Land, up to 96 in Conroe, and feeling like 99 degrees in Galveston. So with that being said, we're under a heat advisory today. Now, 105 normally is not a heat advisory criteria, but we are under special circumstances at this time. The reason being, we have almost 2 million families without power this morning. And so today, with actual forecast highs reaching up to about 93 and heat index values up to 105, that is creating a dangerous situation. So what you need to do is drink plenty of water. Try not to drink alcohol throughout the next several days, because that can help dehydrate you pretty quickly. Make sure you have your electrolytes. That's going to help protect against any heat stress. If you will be outside cleaning up, please use sunscreen, especially on your face. Don't forget your ears, your arms, and if you can, wear lightweight and loose-fitting clothes. That's going to make sure nothing's sticking to you so that you can cool properly, and take regular breaks in the shade as well as inside the AC if you can, maybe a car, maybe go into a cooling center for just a bit. But I do want to talk about river levels that we're going to be watching that are on the rise. And we are looking at the San Bernard River. This is going to be near Bowling. So currently we're at 20.15 feet, but we're likely going to be seeing it cresting at moderate flood stage sometime tomorrow in the early morning. Now, White Oak Bayou at Houston has actually dropped below what we call action level, which is good news. But yesterday we were seeing it up to moderate, if not close to major flooding. So at least the water is within its banks at this time. But let's take you out to the West Fork of the San Jacinto River near Humble. And we talked about this a lot when we had all of that flooding, a few months ago. So right now we're at minor flood stage, but boy, are we ever close to that moderate flood stage. But let's talk about the heat coming up today, because we're going to feel it. Bay City up to 92 degrees by 4 o'clock. The chance for a few isolated rain showers. Jersey Village, it's all about the heat and humidity. Likely not going to be seeing a very high chance at all for any of that cooling rain. So please make sure you're staying hydrated, checking on your loved ones, making sure your pets are good to go. Conroe, a similar story, forecast highs up to about 93 degrees. But let's take you through the next 2 days, because that's going to be imperative that you know exactly what's going on. Light winds, but things are already getting hot at this time. You can see through at least 2 o'clock, rain chances pretty low. I mean, we're not ruling out the chance for maybe an isolated thunderstorm, but all in all, coverage at about 20%. And I'd say a lot of that is going to be south of the I-10 corridor. Now, we head into tomorrow. It's going to be pretty warm overnight. And, that's the unfortunate thing, is that you can't even, open the windows at night to try to cool you down. You're really just going to have to sit by a fan, try to be in AC if you can. We're going to be waking up to the mid and upper 70s tomorrow. But then we are going to be very warm and once again, very humid. That's the unfortunate thing with these afternoons after these storms. Yes, it takes a lot of the moisture, so the actual, high-end rain chances that we saw yesterday, but it keeps the humidity, and there's only going to be a few very isolated showers that could help cool you down. But once again, it looks like that's mainly going to be south of I-10. And heading into the afternoon hours tomorrow. So something that we're going to be watching for you very, very closely. And a lot of that is going to be shifting off to our south as we head into your Wednesday evening. So let me leave you with a look at our 7-day forecast. Heat advisory today. Then we have some more showers and thunderstorms arriving in higher coverage Thursday, Friday, and through the weekend. No, we don't need any more rain, but when we do see any of these isolated storms, it does help to cool the atmosphere down just a bit. Stay safe and make sure you stick with us here at Fox 26 for the latest updates on conditions in your neighborhood. Have a good one, everyone.